Okay, I've said this before. I can't stress enough about the importance of quality score. Even some advanced marketers don't pay heed to quality score at all, but quality score is the key when you have to win the battle against some biggies out there, when you have to win the battle of cost, keeping an eye on the control of the cost, when you have to win the battle of best, achieving the best that Google has to offer, everything boils down to this, and it is a very underrated and sometimes overlooked metric. And we are going to be discussing now exactly what quality score is made of. Like I've said earlier, and I had shown you that screenshot from the dashboard as well. Quality score is a score given by Google next to specific keywords. It is a score that is calculated out of 10. Okay, we can score anywhere from 1 all the way up to 10 out of 10. All right. So let me just walk you through things that we have learned about quality score. Now, again, this is not an exact formula. Okay, Analysis is a company that did their research on multiple thousands of ads, to arrive at a certain percentage weightage in terms of quality score. And quality score, the 10 out of 10, the score out of 10 is actually dependent on three major factors. One is your ad relevance. How relevant is your ad? Another one is your landing page experience. What kind of experience you offer to users, and what is the expected CTR of your ad? The click-through rate of your ad, right? So I think this is the starting point. When there is good click-through rate, which means your ad is very likely relevant. And when the ad is leading to a landing page and the user is finding it really helpful, they'll be spending time on it. That's how Google is able to calculate landing page experience. It's not like they can read your UI or give you a rating in terms of how good looking your website or landing page is. It is like, if people go to a specific landing page and if they very quickly come back to Google search results, and Google is accumulating a lot of similar data points about you, they will know that your landing page is not really offering a good experience. It's completely data driven. But this percentage weightage comes from this company, Analysis, from their own analysis and not from Google. The way Google assigns weightage to this, it's not, how do I put it? It's not out there. I know a lot of people have made conspiracy theories about ad rank algorithm and quality score, but do not believe any of that. It's all personal opinion. Google will not reveal the formula. Anybody who says they know their formula, which means you know exactly the word that I'm going to use. Okay. So if you want the best Google Ads has to offer in terms of quality and in terms of keeping the cost in check, you should aim for a quality score of 7 and above out of 10. You of course can continue to run ad even if your quality score is 1 out of 10. But if you want the best cost for a keyword, if you want to win the auctions, not by really increasing the bid, but with the quality of your ad, with the quality of a landing page, then you should be aiming for a quality score of above 7. Okay. So I'm going to show you two screenshots. This is from actual campaigns. Okay. For example, this is as you're hovering over next to the quality score, it will tell you what exactly is the reason. It will give you the quality score. For example, if you look at it, this particular quality score is 8 out of 10. They give you the three parameters, which is expected click-through rate, ad relevance, and landing page experience. Average, above average, above average. If I really have to improve from 8, from 8 to 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, I need to improve the click-through rate of our ad. Maybe I'll be running a lot more variations of our ad relevant to the keywords that we are targeting so that it improves the click-through rate. I'll use some copywriting techniques to get attention of people so that they can click on ad. Right? If the ad relevance is below average, which means, your ad and keywords are not really, there is something wrong with the keywords that you're going after. Wrong ads are getting triggered for wrong type of keywords. Because of that, your click-through rate is reducing. When your click-through rate is reducing, Google will think that, there is no, your ad relevance is poor. So finally, landing page experience, as of now, it is above average. When things are above average, you don't have to worry. You don't have to try and improve that further. Okay. This is only an indication, and it's not an exact weightage, like I said. If it is below average or average, you should be working on figuring out, what's wrong with the landing page. Is it taking time to load? Is the copy, is there a mismatch in messaging? Is it not visually appealing? Is your so is there something wrong with the text or the form or anything is there in the landing page? I mean, we could come up with 10 different hypotheses what could be wrong in a landing page, right? And Google won't give you specifically, this is why, because your landing page experience is low. So you'll have to do some experiments to really understand from Google's perspective. So what we generally do is we change one parameter. I mean, we look at heat maps, visitor recordings, and all of that to understand to understand the problems, come up with a hypothesis. We change only one parameter, then we come back and observe the quality score to see if it is actually improving, right? If it is improving, great. The job well done. We will not poke on it further. Okay. If in case if your quality score is too poor, sometimes Google will show this. Look, your keyword is eligible to run ads, but it is not triggering ads right now due to a lower ad rank. The lower ad rank is very likely because of a lower quality score, because quality score occupies a prominent position when it comes to ad rank. Remember what our ad rank comes into play. We talked about 10 different things, but the most important thing is the bid that you're doing, is your the quality score, and the third thing is the expected impact on your ad extensions, and the main thing is CPC bid, which you have already taken care of. Number two is this quality score. Okay. Sometimes, even though it is eligible to run ads, it may not get triggered enough because of poor ad rank. And that poor ad rank is likely because of quality score. Then you will have to improve all the areas, because if it is showing an error like this, which means Google finds your click-through rate to be poor, your ad relevance to be poor, and your landing page experience to be poor. Or you can change one thing at a time to see if there is having an additional impact on the other two parameters. So these are different experiments you can run to improve quality score, and it is really important. If you are a large scale advertiser spending a lot of money and dealing with a lot of data, then you may not be paying a lot of attention to quality score. But if you are a small scale advertiser or a medium scale advertiser, you should be focusing on improving your quality scores, because once your quality score is improved, your campaign is running at its best. Okay. Then there are other parameters to look at, and not really improving landing page experience or improving ad relevance. All right. The next one is my most favorite slide. These are the slides I love to make, because you won't find this kind of information in a single page on the internet. So this comes most of our learning. If you remember, during our workshop, Ashwin and I, we had given you this acquisition channel blueprint. So this is something similar. May not be as heavy as that. This is something similar. What we have done, in a way, we have mapped out all the targeting options that are available for you across the different ads that you can run on Google Ads as a platform, across search, display, video, app, shopping, discovery, what kind of targeting that you can potentially do. All right. So yeah, quite simple. I have broken this by channel, and you will see some common parameters between these channels, which means you should be able to do location, gender, age, language, remarketing, and devices for most of this. Wherever you see this particular button, which means it's not really available for everything, but it may be available for one or two of these. For example, let's say UAC, right? You can't really do age. Yeah. So that's right. And in UAC, if you are really selecting Android app, you don't really have to device. They understand it is meant for Android app. So otherwise, pretty much all these things are common, and you will find similar common targeting parameters in any of the advertising channels out there, which is your location, gender, age, devices. It's like bare minimum basics. Otherwise, they're not eligible to be offering digital advertising inventory. Okay. Now let's talk about the targeting available. Search ads, which we looked at, you can do keyword, which mostly triggered on keyword, but there is something called dynamic search ads. In dynamic search ads, you don't really have to feed the keywords. It actually analyzes your website, and it automatically starts showing up your ads for different types of keywords found in your website. While it is a relatively easy option to set it up, but in terms of its effectiveness, there are two people. There are people who Ashwin is a big fan of DSA. I'm not a big fan of DSA. I don't like targeting our ad unit where I have very little control over what is happening. Okay, you have very little control over. There are a few settings that you can do to control DSA. When we talk about DSA, we'll talk about it in detail. But otherwise, it is more like an automated unit. You set up a campaign in such a way that Google will analyze what is the content on your website, and it will start triggering the ads. Okay, you don't have to set up the keyword. Just imagine when you don't have control over keyword, when you're running search ads, people may like it, people may not like it. So it's a polarizing kind of an opinion. All right. So when it comes to Google Display Network, GDN, the banner ads that you can run it automatically. The targeting can be automatic, which means you let Google decide where to show your ads. This is where you can use GDN to run ads on Gmail. Sometimes you receive these promo emails on your Gmail, right? Not the regular spammy email. I'm talking about promotion as a bar where you will see ad, which is an email, and once you open that email, you get it's called a Gmail ad, and the Gmail ad can be run using display advertising. Then you can do custom audience, very similar to Facebook, which means you can build your audience. A while back we discussed, right? There is this audience manager on Google, which is very similar to the audience builder in Facebook, where you can build custom audiences. That could be a website visitors, that could be your email list and stuff like that. Anytime when we are going to mention custom audience from here, which means you have to realize it is not the audience offered by the platform, it is our audience. It is audience, it is our website visitors, our app users, and our email list, our phone number. So custom audience is usually meant for that. Then you can actually do keyword targeting as well, but it doesn't work like Google. Okay, Google, what happens in the Google search bar, you put in a keyword and then an ad gets triggered. Whereas the display keyword targeting is your ad will show up on a website where that keyword is being spoken about, or on a particular blog where this keyword is mentioned. And it's a notorious way of targeting. I mean, we don't use keyword targeting often. It keeps on running as a test, but unfortunately, it hasn't generated the results that we expected it to generate. Okay. Then there is topic targeting. Topic targeting is a website as a whole. Let's say, if Team BHP as a website, it talks about automobile, right? Car and bikes. So that's the topic that it belongs to. Similarly, if I have to talk about IREF, which is meant for real estate, right? There is webmd.com that is meant for healthcare. So if I'm targeting these specific topics, let's say I'm topping health as a topic, my ads are very likely to show up on websites like WebMD. Okay. Then there are interest targeting. Interest targeting has a few options. There is affinity targeting. There is custom affinity targeting. There are life event targeting. Life event is like, you're married, you're single, you're a parent, or stuff like that. In-market audience is extremely crucial. If you're actually doing Google display advertising, in-market audience should be a no-brainer. What an in-market audience means, they are in the market looking to buy a product. That's at least what Google says. They're in the market, at least are interested in buying something that you have to offer. Under in-market audiences, you will find a lot: auto, lifestyle, healthcare, real estate. You'll find a lot of them under in-market audiences. If you belong to any of these industries, you should definitely be tapping into in-market. Okay. And there is something called custom intent. You need to understand the difference between custom affinity and custom intent. Custom affinity is like your lookalike audience. Okay, not exactly similar. It is like lookalike audience, which means under custom affinity, if I feed a URL, let's say homelane.com or livespace.com, these are all interior design companies, right? Or timesofindia.com, yourstory.com, any website, right? When I do custom affinity targeting and I'm targeting yourstory.com as a URL, the instruction that I'm giving Google is, look, I want you to find similar audience like the visitors of your story. Okay, I want you to find similar audiences like the visitors of Times of India. Okay, that is custom affinity. But when you do the same thing under custom intent, you're giving clear instructions to Google. I want to target those visitors, not the similar audiences, but I want to target those exact visitors. Okay. For example, if I tell yourstory.com, and if Google has enough intelligence about the visitors of yourstory.com, it will likely show my ads to them. At least that's what Google says. You don't in reality know exactly how it works. But yeah, I mean, there is a way to figure that out as well. But that is what custom intent means. When you specifically tell Google, I want this audience, whereas custom affinity is you're telling Google to find similar audiences of a website visitor or of a particular topic. Okay, very powerful, and we have run enough tests under custom intent and custom affinity. Custom intent works pretty well. At least the quality of traffic is great, if not conversions. Then finally, placement targeting. This is my most preferred form of targeting under Google Display Network because you know exactly where your ads are going to be. So placement is like, you know, you tell Google exactly the URLs where you want to show up on, but don't put company websites. I'm talking about don't put Infosys.com and TCS.com. You know, they don't allow advertising. They don't allow any third party to come and advertise on their website. It'll be mostly publishers. Let's say Times of India, Your Story, Mashable, BBC, CNN. All these common publisher websites are there, right? You know, you can put all these URLs as long as the website allows advertising. You should be able to put that. But the thing is, you can put any URL that you want under placement targeting, but Google doesn't guarantee you that your ads will show up there. Okay, because I told you about auction process, the real-time bidding process. Everybody bids for a space, right? On a click of a button, on a refresh of a window, your ads change, even if it is the same user, right? So this thing is crazy. The way this engine works is crazy. And everybody would want to go put their ads on high quality websites, which means all these high quality websites, the auction and the bidding for that auction will be expensive. Okay. So if you are, let's say, if your maximum CPC bid is like 5 rupees or 10 rupees, the likelihood of you showing up in high quality websites is very less. Okay. And Google doesn't promise you that inventory. They are going to try getting you the inventory at that price. But if there is a better competition with a better CPC bid, the auction goes to them. You know, you don't get to win that. So if you really want to show up on high quality websites, you need to increase your the CPM bid massively. The bid that you're setting like massively. Don't put 5 or 10 rupees. You have to put like 500 rupees, 600 rupees. Don't worry, you will not be charged that much. It is like, you know, you're arm twisting the algorithm to give you the inventory. And once you start receiving impressions, you know, you can always control the bids. Let's say if you have an understanding, like if I have to win an auction within Times of India website, you know, it is going to cost me 120 rupees. Okay. Now, the next time when you set up the campaign, you know, you can set it up at 120, 130 to see if you continue to win auctions. But like I said, that doesn't mean that you will get guaranteed inventory. If you want guaranteed inventory, then GDN is not the Google Display Network is not the right channel for you. Okay. You will have to talk to that channel directly and buy inventory. And in week 6, we will talk about this and how can you buy inventory directly and what are the simpler ways to do it. Okay. And there is something called discovery. We already talked about it. This is Google's answer to you know, your native ads, right? Discovery, you know, very similar to, you know, what Google Display Network in terms of targeting. They do have custom audience, they have interest targeting, they have live event targeting, demographics, which is a common thing. So very regular targeting. It's a mix of what Google generally offers plus a mix of what Google Display Network has to offer. Okay. Now let's talk about smart campaigns. Smart campaigns. I told you about smart campaigns, right? Even a doctor who is not technology savvy. I mean, don't take me wrong that I'm mentioning doctor all the time. I have a lot of doctor friends who hate doing all of this. Okay. So I generally take doctors as a good example that they hate doing this. And if somebody who hates doing this, even if it is easier for them to run, it is designed in such a way that any beginner will be able to run a smart campaign. Okay. So in terms of smart campaigns and universal app campaign, it's mostly automatic. Okay. And in terms of smart campaigns, you know, you can put some keyword triggers. For example, let's say if you want to promote a salon, which is a local business, you can set up the campaign very quickly, a smart campaign. Like I showed you the interface, you go click on smart, it'll ask you for some details. Then it'll immediately ask you for a few keywords. First of all, it analyzes your website. The campaign itself will suggest you keywords. Look at how easy this thing is. The campaign itself will suggest you keywords. If you are fine with that, you can go for it. Or if you want to manually add keywords, you can do that also. Okay. And finally, Google Shopping campaign, you know, that gallery kind of an ad that shows up when you search for something. If you're searching for smartphone or anything that is visual, physical product in nature, you're going to get that in Google search, right? And that is also an automated form of advertising. It works in a very different way. Ashwin will be talking about Google Shopping campaign. But if you're really curious, there are tons of videos on YouTube which will help you understand how to set up a shopping campaign. And we don't want to record something like that which is already there, right? So that works based on product attributes. For example, let's say you have Flipkart and you have multiple products. Okay, you sell anything from apparel and you sell home appliances, you sell smartphones, everything, literally everything you sell. Imagine the kind of effort that is involved in setting up campaigns for all these categories and these millions of SKUs, right? And if you notice, the product page will have the product title, it will have product specifications, it will have product reviews, and so many things in a product page. In an e-commerce product page, if you go to a Flipkart and if you want to buy a Redmi phone, that Redmi phone will have a ton of details about the product. What RAM and what is the camera, what is the warranty, everything, right? Now the shopping ads get triggered if the user types any of these product attributes. For example, a 4 GB RAM smartphone, it will actually pull the ad from your feed, which is a Redmi 5A, and it will show there. Now you understand how these ads work. Let me just quickly look at it. Let me show you an example if I can. Okay. I'm gonna search for what is the latest one? 32 megapixel camera. You see this? This is actually pulled. It is a shopping ad. Okay, it says it's a gallery. It is actually pulled from a different websites, from something called VLE Bazaar. Right. I don't want to click on this, but just for your understanding, let me just show you. It will first have product images, but if you click on this, it will take you to that product. Okay. Sorry, VLE Bazaar. This is an example, and I did not really have an option. There is no dummy way of me looking this up. Okay. If you see this particular product, there's a lot of specifications. Okay. But how did the product show up? I didn't type Samsung Galaxy A70. I typed 32 megapixel camera, and I didn't even type phone. So it picked up one of the product description. You look at this, right? 32 megapixel front camera. Just imagine, if you have to find the keywords for this phone, there is a high possibility that you may have missed out on a keyword like this. And that is why Google Shopping becomes a very powerful form of advertising. Where it reduces a lot of your effort, it syncs with the data feed in the website, and Ashwin will definitely walk you through in terms of how to set it up. And you can also find the instructions on YouTube, okay? And the ad gets triggered, okay? This is one way a shopping ad will look like, but if I have to look for smartphones, 8,000 rupees, smartphones below 8,000 rupees, you see this. So this looks slightly differently compared to the previous ad unit, right? This is also triggered by Google Shopping ads, right? So, and that uses the product attributes in the product page to trigger those ads. There is nothing called, keyword setup and stuff like that, and it will use your product attribute. The only way you can control this is you can limit the amount of data that you share from your website to Google. For example, mobile phone might be a high revenue generating category for you. So you can allow the mobile feed to be synced with your Merchant Center account, which is the Google Ads Merchant Center account. And then your ads will get triggered only for mobile phones. Though you're selling home appliances and apparel and anything, you can actually control not to show your other products. You can control that. But otherwise, the control that you have on Google Shopping campaign is very less, right? But it's a brilliant form of advertising. It works. People, especially when there is product awareness, when people have pretty much made up their mind about Redmi 9A, okay? And they just want to buy, so they have put Redmi 9A. They're very likely to click on this and make that purchase. But if your Google Shopping feed is not on, they could buy this phone from any website. Why would they buy it from you? Because the most visible thing is Amazon.in here, and there is Reliance Digital here. They will buy from here and not search for your website organically and find your text hat, or that won't happen. Which is why you cannot just run one ad unit, because you don't know how the consumer behaves. You need to be having all of these things. It's just that as a business judgment, we need to understand, okay, does it make sense for us to be putting this much money on a campaign to generate this sale? Okay. But if you're in a really highly competitive industry, I mean, if you take mobile phone industry, is super competitive. The margins that they make on these phones is thin, like really thin. For example, if it is a 7,000 rupee product, after all the costs, the company might be making around 500,000 rupees, which is why they don't give you earphone anymore. They save cost, because if they give you earphone, that's another 200, 300 rupees. They can save on that, right? They don't give you chargers these days. Apple doesn't give a charger. They can save 1,000 rupees for that, because Apple chargers are expensive. Everybody thinks, they are, green friendly and all of that. It is the way of cutting down cost and improving the value that you get out of a scale, right? Simple. Okay. Cool. Let me go back to where we were. So we were talking about, yeah. So we were here, shopping campaign and targeting. So this is I'm really sorry. I mean, this is fully based on my understanding. There might have been one or two targeting that may have gone missed, but you can be assured that we don't use that targeting often, which is why it has gotten missed from my radar. But otherwise, this is pretty much it in terms of Google Ads as an umbrella term, and there are multiple ad units within that, and what are all the different targeting options that are available, right? And like I always say, as a performance marketer, you need to be aware of what targeting is possible within a channel. You need to know in and out of all of these targeting. You have absolutely no choice. First of all, if you want to gather your breath, just go back in this video, watch this all over again, individually Google all of these things to understand what exactly is this targeting and what type of inventory can be offered to me, right? That will make you super smart. And while you're making a media plan, you don't even have to do any research. It will automatically come to your mind. Okay, this is the product and this is the audience. I can find this here. I can find them using Google Display Network. I can find them on a Facebook placement, or I can find them in a Times of India, right? If you have really strong understanding about your audience and the targeting that each of these channels offer, then making a media plan and making a marketing mix of channels become extremely easy. Okay, so there is no way out. You need to know this. All right. So let me now talk about the main guy here, the Google search ads. So far we have given you an overview in terms of how the auction works, what a quality score is, what an ad rank is. We looked at the different range of targeting options that are available under Google, right? While we were talking about this, we talked about how different businesses use it. We looked at a few examples. All of that is great. So let's talk about search ads in detail. The reason I wanted to talk about search ads in detail, it is the most high performing performance ad unit. Okay. It is the best that is available today. Let me tell you this. I mean, for the next 5 years to come, I don't think there is any competition for this particular ad unit. Okay. So now when it comes to search ads, it is extremely powerful because they show up when people type a relevant keyword. When people have a need, they go to Google and they search for it, they find you. Okay. Even if you show up as a Facebook ad, if people have any doubts about who you are, they will go to Google, they will look you up. Okay. While they are looking you up, they will find other competition, and the customer is diverted once again. But a customer will get diverted. There will be a dream scenario where you cannot let the customer divert and focus only on buying product from you. It doesn't happen. Internet is full of distractions. You're marketing to people with intent. Just imagine, let's say, you have an accessory website or an apparel website. And let's say you're selling t-shirts like bewakoof.com. Buy t-shirts online. If somebody's searching for buy t-shirts online, super high intent. They want to buy t-shirts and online. You have to be running your ads all the time for that particular keyword. Now, the call is whether that keyword is turning out to be profitable or not, but it is a no-brainer to be bidding on that keyword, right? Generally, what happens, when you use any other forms of advertising, you get to bid on location, demographic, some profile attributes, for example, whether they are a parent or not. But none of these people have intent. How do people on Facebook have an intent? They have an intent to talk to other people, consume content, not to buy from you, right? But where do you buy audiences with full intent? That is on search ads. Okay. The Google search ads offer you intent targeting, and Facebook offers you interest targeting. Okay. If somebody asks this question to you in an interview, you can use this line. So Google gives you intent targeting. Facebook gives you interest targeting. See, Google offers more as well, and Facebook offers more, but it is a smart line because this is exactly what they are. So you can use this line. All right. So search ad are the ads that get triggered when you type a keyword in Google search. For example, okay, I wanted to clarify this. We are going to be using this terminology called keyword again and again and again and again. Okay. A keyword doesn't necessarily mean a single word. Okay. For example, this example is there, right? Your buy shoes online. It is not keywords. It is not 3 keywords. It is 1 keyword only. It is just our way of calling it. It has become like a norm. Even if it is 5 words, in a phrase of 5 words, it is still called a keyword and not keywords. Okay. When it can be called keywords, when there is another keyword. Okay. We have buy shoes online. Similarly, there is buy t-shirts online. When these 2 keywords are there in an Excel sheet or in one of your campaign targeting, then you can call them keywords. Okay. Otherwise, this one is called a keyword. Okay. Pro tip. So let's assume that you own a co-working space. Let's say, you're like WeWork Fancy brand name, huh? So you might be targeting keywords like, co-working space, best co-working space, cheap co-working space. May not be, if you're a WeWork, you may not be going for cheap co-working space. But let's say if you're somebody like, there are multiple other co-working businesses, right? I don't want to name them as cheap. There are a lot of cheap alternatives. Co-working space near a certain location. For example, I can talk about Bangalore, co-working space near Indranagar, co-working space near Bellandur, co-working space near UB City, right? These are all the options that we can look up. Co-working office space, co-working for rent, book a co-working space, office space for rent. You might be thinking that why are we bidding for office space for rent? You can tell them the co-working space is a better option. Why are you taking an individual office? This is like going after P2 audience. They're not really looking for a co-working space, but you can convince them to take a co-working space. All right. So the reason, it's not a foolproof way of arriving at keywords, but since we are starting with the topic called keywords, I'm telling you, these are the potential keywords that you will be going after if you are a WeWork competitor. Okay. So search ads work best when people are aware of your brand, product, and category. Right. There is this saying, though let's say if somebody's searching for buy shoes online and you're showing up an ad, doesn't mean people will buy from you. Okay. Before people open up their wallet, there are a lot of anxiety. There are a lot of questions that they have in their head. They have to find the right product. Their payment gateway has to be working. There are tons of reasons why somebody will not buy from you immediately. So a job of a search ad is not to immediately generate a sale. Understand this. It can potentially generate a sale for you, but the job of the search ad is not only that. The job of the search ad is to show up in front of the right person at the right time. Whether that person is buying there or not, you can always retarget them to sell your product, right? In simple words, there has to be category volume, which means enough people have to look for buy shoes online, then it will work. And if people are already aware of you, let's say if you're a Reliance Footprint, or there are multiple other footwear brands, right? Nike showroom and multiple other shoes. If people are already aware of Nike, and Nike is showing up for buy shoes online, either in a Google shopping ad format or a Google text ad format, the likelihood of purchase is higher for Nike than a new startup like you. You understood? So you think about it from a user standpoint, right? Let's say if you are in the market, to buy shoes. First of all, you're already an internet native person. You already know how internet works. You will not be searching for something like buy shoes online. Okay, buy shoes online is an example. You may not be searching for, I'm not saying you will not be, you may not be searching for buy shoes online. You might be searching for size 11 formal shoe. Okay, or a latest Nike product, latest Nike shoe, right? There could be very many different ways of you finding about your own product, right? And if the ads that you're coming across, if you're already aware of the brand, the likelihood of you buying from that brand is very high. Compare that with a startup. Or let's say there are websites you don't really want to transact from. These websites, I don't want to name them. There are these e-commerce websites that are there since the dawn of time, right? Since when internet started in India, there are these e-commerce websites and they still continue to operate. Many of you hesitate buying from them, though right? Because of their reputation. A lot of these things come into play for a sale to happen. So stop having that judgment and saying that search ad doesn't work for me, Facebook ad doesn't work for me. There is some work that has to be done for these ad units to be working well. Okay, pro tip. If people recognize your brand, like I said, you'll get better results. And if you're a better brand, you will get even better results. Okay. People aware of your brand is one thing. People aware of you as a great brand with great customer service is another thing, right? If you're a great brand with great customer service, the same search ad without any change will deliver 2 times the CTR and half the conversion, right? The cost per conversion. I'm not even kidding. Okay, branding works in mysterious ways, and hence you cannot discount the effort on branding. Now you remember the week 1 module that we were talking about? People will say that, put all my money on performance. It may sound exciting, right? Performance will give you sales and all of that. But when your brand is strong, performance will work even better. When your brand is weak, even a good performance campaign cannot work in your favor, right? And hence you need to treat them equally. You have to give them equal weightage. In fact, better weightage to brand. Whenever you get an opportunity to brand your company, your product, you should be taking over that opportunity. Performance is important, but it is not the only thing that you should be doing. All right. And as a performance marketer, I am telling you, with the data that I have seen, with the success and failures I have seen, a better brand will always deliver better results, irrespective of the type of campaign that you run. Okay. Now, now that we are learning Google search ad, there is another terminology that you need to be aware of. People keep talking about this. It's called search volume. Okay. So people call it search volume. People call it monthly search volume. Excuse me. So otherwise goes by the abbreviation MSV, monthly search volume. But people generally use, so don't say what is the MSV. They will say what is the search volume. Okay. It refers to an approximate number of people looking for a specific keyword on Google in a given month. And that value is calculated based on the last 12 months historical average. And how can you find this information? The best tool on the planet is Google's own tool, Google Keyword Planner. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how Google Keyword Planner looks like for beginners. If you're an advanced person or an intermediate person, you can skip this, like, fast forward this video. All right. But for beginners, please pay attention to it. I know there are a ton of exciting keyword planners out there, AI keyword planners, keyword shitter, and all of these guys are there. Nothing beats Google. Okay. All right. So let me show you how the tool looks like. Just give me a moment. So this is how Google Keyword Planner look like. Okay. You can just quickly Google Keyword Planner and Google Keyword Planner, Google Keyword Planner. And then, you should be able to launch on this particular window. If you have any trouble to access Google Keyword Planner, please ask for help in the community. Okay. Don't skip this part. Very important, because you will be using this tool forever. And it's not just an tool that will help you run ads at a starting point to run ads. You can use this for market research data to understand demand. The use case of this tool is crazy. Okay, it's Google's data, right? You can trust that data instead of reading some Deloitte report and making some assumptions based on that. Okay, this is real data. All right. If you haven't run Google Ads, okay, if you don't have an active Google Ads account, you will get a range like this. This is the average monthly searches, and this is it's an average of the last 12 months data, but it is for a month, but average of last 12 months data. If you don't have an active Google account, you will see a range. But if you have an active Google account, you will see the exact number. So look, 100K to 1 million is a big difference, right? Where is 100K and where is 1 million? Where is 1K and where is 10K? What do I do with this range? Which is why, even if you don't have an active Google ad account, you may not have a client, you may not have spend 500 rupees on your own website, on your own blog, once in a while, and just maintain that account. Okay, you don't have to do that often. Spend 100 rupees. No, spend 100 rupees in maintaining a Google ad account, so that you can get accurate data and you need not work with the range like this. Okay, so let me show you this tool. This looks better, right? This actually tells you the seasonality graph. Like I said, it is an average of 12 months. The data that you're looking at is for a month, but it is averaged between June and May 2021. Like you can see that, right? There are sometimes, where the volume has gone up. This is August 2020. I don't know why the volume has gone up for dining table, right? Maybe a lot of people wanted to buy dining table after the unlock 3.0 had happened. Okay, this is last year. Okay, so this gives you a good idea in terms of, okay, how did the search graph look like for the last 12 months. Though they're saying 2,46,000, it is not 2,46,000 every month. Okay, these numbers will keep changing, and hence it is an average number. In interviews, you will get asked questions like this, so make use of that point. All right. So all I'm doing is, I search for dining table, and the default option is India. You will get all the keywords that you could be potentially bidding for, and keywords that you could be potentially using for your SEO strategy also. Okay. So dining table in India, approximately 2,46,000 people are searching for dining table. That's a big market, right? Dining table set, 90,500. Kitchen table, 18,000. Extended dining tables, 2,400. There is dining room table. Not many people are looking at it, but 720. But I want you to look at this data. Let me first explain what these means. First of all, you just have to feed a seed keyword, which means a starting point, and you have to give that starting point to Google. Once you give that starting point, in this case, I've given dining table. Google is telling me all the other related keywords, that you could potentially tap into, right? and the monthly searches. This is the approximate number of people who are searching for this particular keyword in a month. And having said that, this includes misspelling also sometimes. If, for example, dining table and chairs, it could be an and symbol, and Google could have combined these data. Sometimes they give it to you separately, sometimes they combine that data, which is why it is important for you to export this keyword list and then do your own filtering and then start bidding on this keyword. Okay, but before that, the competition. What competition is? When there are three types of competition: high, medium, and low. Right? If it is high, it means a lot of advertisers are interested in that keyword. They are interested in that keyword because it works. It has delivered results for them. That is why they're interested in it, right? And if you are an Urban Ladder or a Pepperfry, you should be going for all of these keywords. But let's say if you are not as funded as Pepperfry, or Urban Ladder is now part of Reliance, if you're not Urban Ladder who is Reliance, then you can't really afford to be bidding on all these keywords. And I'll give you a few more metrics to do that. And you will see two numbers here. Okay. One is the top of the page bid, low range, top of the page bid, high range. So what it means is, a simpler definition of this, people are bidding anywhere from 6 rupees to 38 rupees for this keyword for a click. Okay. So you'll be thinking, okay, I don't want to bid this much. I will be bidding 6.4. If you do that, the likelihood of you winning that auction is very less. People think they're very smart. They will be either going for something in between, which doesn't have any logic. Let's say, what is the number in between? 20, 22? Doesn't really have any logic. You should be, especially when you're starting the campaign, you should be bidding towards this number. You should be bidding 40 rupees. You should be giving 40 rupees. Okay. And this number is not static. If you check this the next month, this range might have gone up. Okay. This number won't remain static. Like I said, all this data works based on real-time bidding, and this number keeps changing. And you cannot really think that this is set in stone. Look at the starting page bid. Why can't Google keep it 0? Because Google wants to make money. They want to tell you this is the minimum range that you should be bidding, minimum amount. You cannot be bidding 2 rupees. You have to at least bid 6.4. But the problem with 6.4 as a bidding, your ads won't show up. You won't win the auction. Even though you give the budget of 500, 600 rupees to Google, Google will not spend that money. Okay. So now people might be wondering that why is Google not able to spend my money? It's because of that. Your bids are very low. You're not able to win auctions. Google will not say that, you're not able to win auction, but Google will give a prompt saying that your keyword bid is low. Your top, your first page bid is very low. You might want to change it. Google will give that recommendation. Okay. So yeah, so that is that data. If you really want to do more analysis on this, you just download as a CSV or a Google Sheet. You will get this exhaustive list of keywords. Now here, I can actually look at a few low competitive keywords. So medium. Look at this medium. Counter height dining set is a medium keyword. It's not really expensive. Even if you set the bid at 3 rupees or 4 rupees, you should be able to. Sometimes you will see dash, which means Google doesn't have enough data to give you a number here. And you can assume safely that it is the lowest cost bid. Why do you think it is lower cost? First of all, it is very specific. Round kitchen table. I don't know who would want a round kitchen table, right? First of all, why would you need a table in the kitchen? Right? And hence, people are not really interested. They might have bid on these keywords, but it wouldn't have generated results because this particular person is looking for a round kitchen table, which is a weird product in first place. Okay. Counter height dining set. I don't know what it is. Okay. Round kitchen table is actually high. The keyword competition is high, but I think a lot of people are bidding, but they're bidding at the lower range, and hence high means only there are more people interested. Okay, nothing more. For a medium keyword like counter height dining set, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is height adjustable in nature. Counter height. Okay, there is a counter, and I want a dining set at the counter height. That is what it means. Very less number of searches. Advertisers won't be generally interested in keywords that are very low volume in nature. Now that's a sweet spot. Now, if you are a small business, you can actually potentially target this keyword. And if you identified 100 similar keywords, that will give you some volume. If you're not competing with Pepperfry, you can always run your campaign profitably. This is the difference between running a campaign profitably and going after scale. When you're going after heavy scale, it's very unlikely that you're making profit. Okay. Or the margin that you're making is very less. Especially if you're scaling too quickly. All right. Let us look at a few more medium keywords. Okay, there is one more. Modern dining room sets.
I don't know why people are not bidding enough. Hmm. Yeah, this is, I mean, if I am running campaign and I have this product, I would probably definitely choose this keyword. And it's a decent volume. It's not too bad. It's, when some keywords searches are specific. Okay. Generally, what I go about doing it is modern dining room sets, right? So let me just put that modern dining room sets. Is that room set? Let me check. Yeah, it is room set. I don't know what is it. Modern dining room set. Okay. I will first understand what type of websites are coming. Okay, organically, not necessarily only ads. I will just say, what organically it's coming. There is pepperfry.com, but it is not necessarily leading me to a dining room set. It's a dining set. Okay. Okay, let me click on this Urban Ladder link and look at the products that they have. Okay. It's a regular dining table set. It's not a dining room set. So the person who is searching may not have been aware of the right word. Okay. It is they mean that it is they want a dining table set and not a dining room set. Okay. But if you're smart, you'll be bidding on that keyword. And I do not know, a lot of people are not interested in it. There are a few shopping ads that is getting triggered. Yeah, Pepperfry and West Elm is running an ad. We will talk about how Pepperfry may not be targeting this specific keyword. We will be talking about a topic called keyword match types, and I will explain you how you can show up for multiple types of keywords. Okay. Yeah. So I will look up some of these things. If organically, if that keyword makes sense, and if I have a similar product, I will definitely bid on that keyword, because I have to assume that the consumer is not using the right word, but you can't really blame the consumer. Consumer is the king, right? So you need, I would probably run a very specific ad saying that modern dining room set only, but I will lead them to a page where they can see dining table set. Okay. For example, this is talking about dining table set, but if I run an ad which says, ad copy says modern dining room set, we have 40 plus options and the price starts from 9,000 onwards, 100% people will click on it. Whether they are buying it or not, it's secondary. But at least, we will be winning the battle with Pepperfry here. Okay. And because of Pepperfry's familiarity, a lot of people may click on it. But what we are doing here, we are offering very specific to the search. Our ad copy is specific, and we have a landing page where they will get to see all the products. So there is a high possibility that we can, if not win with them, we can equally compete with Pepperfry in this particular auction. Okay. Let me quickly go back to the keyword planner. Yeah, so that is keyword planner, guys. In terms of, you can export all the keyword ideas and you can do this analysis very well. But there are smarter ways of doing this, and those are all the options that we will be discussing. But this is the base level of keyword research that you need to be doing. Use Google Keyword Planner, trust the data, maintain an active Google ad account. So, you get to know the actual number instead of a range, which you get in a non-active account. Okay. Get an account, identify keywords that are low, medium in nature, and if you're testing the waters, you should be bidding. But if you have a lot of money to spend, then you can bid all the high competitive keywords also. Absolutely no problem. But if you're testing the waters, if you're starting slow, let's say you haven't had a lot of success with Google Ads, these are all the opportunities that you should be testing, and not go after something like dining table set. If I search for a dining table set, I don't know how many people are going to come up. Okay, dining table set. Okay, there is Carpenter James, and there are a lot of shopping options. I am on a different. There are more ads that are there. Home Center is running ad. There is IDUS and there is Royal Oak India. All of these people are running ads. Okay. And what if you're a non-familiar brand? People will click on the familiar brand. For example, this IDUS is not a familiar brand to me, but some of you may know it. I wouldn't click on this. I would first of all check the brands that I know very well. I know Royal Oak very well. I know Home Center, and there is Carpenter James, which I am aware of, but not a lot of you may be aware of, because I've been doing some research around the category and Carpenter James keep popping up. Okay. So I am aware of this brand. I would probably check them out as well in terms of what they have to offer when it comes to dining table set. But if you, as a small business or a startup, or if you're a not well-known brand, if you are bidding on this keyword, the likelihood of you getting that click is very less, which means your expected click-through rate goes down, which means your quality score goes down, which means the cost you will end up paying for that click is very high. Now you see how the dots are getting connected. I'll repeat that again. You can, as a small business, assume that your brand is X Furniture. X Furniture doesn't have a brand. Let's say it's a startup. Not many people know about it. Now, X Furniture could have bid on low competitive keywords, but X Furniture decided to bid on dining table set. Okay, and dining table set, everybody is interested in dining table set. All the leading online furniture stores, your Carpenter James and Home Center, everybody is interested. Let me just quickly scroll. Royal Oak India, and there is someone called IDES, right? Now, if the likelihood of the clicks will go to an attractive ad, that is possible. If IDES has written a better ad, I would have definitely clicked on it. But my click is likely to go to a brand that I'm familiar with, Home Center, Royal Oak India. A click is likely to go there. Because of this, what happened? Google might think, okay, IDES is not really relevant. The click-through rate is very low compared to the other advertisers that are bidding on it. Okay, let's reduce the quality score. Okay, they're not doing it manually. The algorithm is built in such a way that algorithm will do everything. Okay, so let's reduce the quality score. Then I will have to do something else to increase the click-through rate. I might want to write some really crazy ads to get people's attention to click on it. But this is just one user. Okay, there are 246,000 people who are searching for this keyword. Everybody might click on an ad for very different reasons. Okay, but if you have a brand, you will get better results. Okay? All right, T. So now we talked about Google Keyword Planner, and you must have access. All of you must have access to Google Keyword Planner. All right. Uh, Let me talk about, yes, and I mean, this is something that we already talked about. On Google search ads, you pay for a click. Okay. Every time the user clicks on an ad, you pay money. You looked at the dining table set as a keyword, right? What was the range? 6 rupees to 38 rupees. And let's say if you're bidding towards the higher end, 38 rupees, your CPC would likely be around 35, sometimes even 38, right? Sometimes, if you had gone for an automated bidding strategy, it might be even higher, right? It is very important your ad copy, the text ad, needs to qualify the visitors. Okay, so let me show you some examples. I searched for buy 3 BHK in Bangalore. Okay, I'm looking for an apartment, 3 BHK in Bangalore. Now, if you look at all these ads, it all looks similar. It's just too crowded. Okay, but there are a few people, they are qualifying the visitor very well because the 3 BHK is expensive. Okay, even in Bangalore, it is expensive. You can buy a 3 BHK in 50 lakhs all the way up to 5 crores. Same 3 BHK. Depending upon the location, depending upon the size of the unit, the reputation of the builder, the price of the 3 BHK may vary from 60 to 50, 60 lakhs all the way up to 5 crores. Okay. In this case, this particular guy, Kamal Heights, who is running, he's not really qualifying the visitor. Though this gentleman has won the auction, they might be bidding a lot of money. They are not really qualifying the visitor. Qualifying the visitor means calling out the price. Look, if this particular search is looking, if their budget is lesser than a crore, okay, and what if the Kamal Heights, property starts from 2 CR? You first of all, you bid very high for this keyword to show up. Secondly, you are driving an irrelevant visitor to your website. You might even get them to fill up the form, but that form fill up, when your salesperson is going to call that person, they say their budget is 1 CR, but the salesperson says my property starts at 2 CR, right? Then the salesperson will call it non-qualified lead. Now, whoever is looking at the campaign, they will blame you as the campaign manager that, look, you have run campaigns, but, you have driven a lot of non-qualified leads. You did the job right, but your ad copy did not do the job right. Look at the importance of ad copy here. But if you look at the other examples, Brigade Exotica, they call out the price. It starts from 1.7 CR. They give you other options as well, ready to move in, which is another major pain point in construction industry. This could be under construction. And this person might be looking for an under construction house, might be looking for a ready to move in. It is better to call it out. This ad does a fantastic job in qualifying the visitor. Okay. First of all, it says 3 BHK flats in Bangalore. This is exactly what I was searching for. The price point, it is ready to move in, and they have all the features of the product. Okay. Tata Realty also has done a good job. First of all, Tata is a very popular brand name. People are very likely to click on it. Okay. Just because it is Tata. Tata has a fantastic offer. I don't know what EOI is, but they're saying 100% cashbacks. That sounds very exciting. That's like almost getting you home for free, but I think EOI is not home. It might be something very small. Okay. Here also they are qualifying it nicely, but I would have wanted this in the headline itself and not in the description, but still it does the job. It says the price point here, it starts at 2.14 CR. Now the problem is, your superiors, your clients would have told you, hey, I don't want to put up the price point. Then if the client or the manager says like that, then don't hold me accountable for results. Simple. If they don't want to put the price, of course the ad is going to attract non-qualified visitors, non-qualified form fill-ups, which means you're ending up wasting your productivity. First of all, you spend money here in getting that visitor. Your landing page, you're paying some server costs for that, and you're paying somebody to build that landing page. You're paying a salesperson, right? Imagine the effort that is involved by all these people to get that one non-qualified lead. Now you understand why the qualified leads are less. If you have run campaigns for, let's say, anything that is lead gen oriented, insurance, coaching, education, real estate, anything that is, form fill, lead gen, and then salespeople calling them to close the deal kind of a nature. This is why you get a lot of non-qualified leads, because you have to qualify visitors at every stage. Just like how your salesperson is qualifying the lead, as a marketer, your ad copy needs to qualify the visitor. We are very clearly telling them, boss, if you don't have money, don't click on it. Please let me run my ad, right? Which is why it is important to convince your people that we have to call out the price point. Okay. Especially if you're a luxury product, it is better to call out, because if Brigade Exotica wanted, they could have gone after luxury 3 BHK in Bangalore. But the problem is not enough people search for it. You have to bid on a keyword like buy 3 BHK in Bangalore that has a sizable volume, but your ad copy will have to do the job of qualifying that visitor. Just one straight shot, a lot of learning, right? Keep that in mind. Extremely crucial, the ad copy. Okay. So these guys are doing a fantastic job in qualifying the visitor. That was a pro tip. All right. Now we have something interesting to cover. How do you, we did keyword research, right? Using Google Keyword Planner. Now there is something called intent. What is the intent of that particular keyword? That is what we are going to be covering in the next module. I will see you there.